There are vehicles that are built to simply transport you. And then, there are those rare few that truly become part of the land itself. It was born not from want, but from pure necessity, and forged not just in a factory, but in the harshest, most unforgiving environments on Earth. In these vast, lonely places, it became more than just a machine. It became a partner, a constant, reliable presence in a world of uncertainty. It is the unbroken promise, a promise whispered across generations of farmers and explorers, that you will get there, no matter the distance, and you will get back, no matter the odds. But legends that don't adapt are destined to become relics, and the Land Cruiser was never meant to be a relic, so it evolved. The old philosophy of pure mechanical toughness began to merge with a new way of thinking. It started adapting sophisticated new technology, advanced new engineering, to not only conquer the wild, but to master the modern world as well. And this new thinking was unleashed to conquer new worlds. The old promise was simply to get you there. The new promise was to let you dominate them. A mission that would begin in one of the most punishing environments on the planet, the harshest deserts, and all the way to the very heart of the modern city, proving that a true titan can be equally at home in the concrete jungle as it is in the wild. To understand a legend, you must understand the world that created it. Japan, in the late 1940s and early 50s, was a nation being reborn. From the ashes of war, a new industry was rising, built on resilience and a collective will to rebuild. The cities were coming back to life, but the roads connecting this new nation were often rugged and unforgiving. A new kind of tool was needed, not just for the cities, but for the frontiers. That need found its catalyst in conflict. With the outbreak of the Korean War, the US military needed a light, locally produced utility vehicle. They turned to Japan's burgeoning auto industry with a challenge and a contract. The benchmark was the American Jeep, a proven, versatile machine. Toyota's answer was the BJ. It was simple, raw, and purpose-built. There was no comfort, no excess. Every piece was designed for function and strength. Underneath, its B-type 6-cylinder engine was significantly more powerful than the Jeep's 4-cylinder. But a government contract wasn't enough. To truly prove its mettle, Toyota needed to do something spectacular. It needed a trial by fire. The plan was audacious, almost impossible, to drive the BJ higher up the treacherous slopes of Mount Fuji than any vehicle had ever gone before. The path was unforgiving, little more than a trail for pilgrims. It was a brutal test of power, traction, and mechanical endurance. Every rock and every incline threatened to end the journey. On August 6, 1951, test driver Ichiro Taira reached the 6th station, higher than any car in history. The trial was a triumph. The promise was kept, and the legend of the Land Cruiser was born. With the success of the BJ, Toyota quickly realized they had created more than just a military vehicle. The seed of a civilian legend was planted. The J20 and J30 series of the mid-50s were the first steps toward refinement, a subtle shift from a pure tool to a vehicle for the people. And then, in 1960, the evolution became a revolution. The J40, a design so simple, so functional, and so instantly recognizable, it would become the face of adventure itself. From the iconic bezel headlights to the versatile pickup and wagon boat piece, this was the Land Cruiser taking its final, legendary form. The J40 didn't just sell, it conquered on every continent, in every climate imaginable. It became the vehicle of choice for those whose lives depended on reliability. In the vast, unforgiving Australian outback, it was the workhorse that built a nation. And with its new, timeless form, the J40 began its global conquest. It wasn't just exported, it was adopted. It became the lifeblood of the Australian outback, a tireless and simple workhorse, navigating vast stations and unforgiving red dirt tracks. Across the Indian Ocean, it was the key to exploring the vast African savanna, a trusted partner for scientists and conservationists on the front line. In the thin air and treacherous roads of the high Andes, on narrow mountain passes, where other vehicles would surrender, the J40's simple, rugged reliability made it a legend. From the muddy, waterlogged jungles of Southeast Asia to the most remote corners of the globe, the message was the same. But its true genius wasn't just its toughness, it was its elegant simplicity. This was a machine designed to be maintained far from any workshop. The legendary F-Series engine was a masterpiece of reliability. Straightforward enough to be understood and repaired with just a basic set of tools and a bit of ingenuity. There was no comfort here, just the unbreakable endurance of simple solid axles and leaf springs, built to deliver legendary articulation. Behind the wheel, it was pure connection. Just you, the machine, and the view over the iconic flat fenders to the trail ahead. And so, after decades of relentless service, a strange and beautiful thing happened. The humble workhorse, once seen as just a tool, began its final evolution. Rescued from forgotten fields and workshops, these survivors were not seen as old, but as timeless. A global community, bound by a passion for simple, honest engineering, lovingly brought them back to life. Every panel sanded, every part polished, every bolt tightened was an act of reverence for a legend. From a tool to a treasure, the J40 was reborn. No longer just a vehicle, but a cherished eco, a rolling testament to a promise of endurance that will never fade. As the J40 cemented its reputation for toughness across the globe, a new demand began to emerge, not from the mines or the work sites, but from the driveways of growing suburbs. Families, inspired by the spirit of adventure, wanted that same freedom for themselves. They needed a vehicle with the landcruiser's legendary reliability, but with enough space for kids and camping gear, the comfort for long road trips, and all the features of a modern passenger car. This desire for a civilized adventurer marked the official birth of the station wagon line. The 80 series perfected this balance, becoming a true do-anything vehicle. But as it pushed further into luxury and comfort, it created a division. The single path of the Land Cruiser was about to split. This moment was the Great Divide. A single name would now represent two distinct philosophies, forged for two different worlds. And so, by the early 1980s, the Land Cruiser faced an impossible task. It was trying to be two different things at once, for two completely different worlds. This created a tension. The station wagon, like this FJ60, was reaching for luxury, but its rugged roots meant it could never be a true high-end passenger car. And the pure workhorse, the 70 series, was so focused on utility that it felt completely alien in the modern city. The Land Cruiser name could no longer serve two masters. A division was not just an option, it was necessary. And so, the Great Divide was set. The first path was the station wagon, from the unique FJ55 to the family-focused FJ60. This was the Land Cruiser finally moving from the trail to the city street. But for every step the station wagon took towards comfort, another branch held fast to the original philosophy. This was the second path, the heavy-duty line. While one cruiser went to the city, this one went to work becoming the absolute benchmark for durability in the world's most demanding industries, from mining to agriculture. Then came the second divide. Toyota took the rugged DNA of its 70 series workhorse and ingeniously created the light-duty Prado, a more compact, road-friendly adventurer that quickly became a legend in its own right. And so, the family tree was complete. Three distinct branches, all continuously evolving forward: the immortal heavy-duty, the versatile Prado, and the flagship station wagon. At the pinnacle of that evolution stands the Land Cruiser 300, a vehicle that perfectly blends its gunny wear, toughness with the highest levels of modern luxury and technology. The station wagon line continued its relentless push into the modern age. From the legendary 80 series through the popular 100 and powerful 200 series, each new generation was a masterclass in evolution, adding more technology, more power, and more refined luxury. It all culminated in the flagship of today, a true titan of both the city and the wild. But while one branch evolved, the other endured. The heavy-duty line held fast to its original purpose, remaining the world's most trusted tool. It is the vehicle of choice for those saving lives in remote jungles, the rugged backbone of humanitarian missions with UNICEF, the tireless workhorse of heavy industry, and a symbol of hope for UN peacekeepers in the most dangerous places on Earth. It is not a car, it is a promise. And finally, The light-duty Prado continued to perfect its unique and critical balance. From its rugged beginnings sharing DNA with the 70 series, it rapidly evolved into a sophisticated, comfortable, and technologically advanced SUV. With each generation, it brought more refinement and luxury to the interior, truly becoming the Land Cruiser for the modern family. It is the versatile explorer, the branch that carries the legendary name with a character all its own, perfectly ready for any journey. As the Land Cruiser entered the new millennium, the journey towards modern luxury began with a crucial turning point, the 100 series. This was the moment the flagship embraced a dual identity. It was masterfully designed to retain its legendary Gunnyware toughness, while offering a new level of on-road comfort and daily refinement previously unseen in the line. The secret was a seismic shift in philosophy, deep beneath the skin. The legendary solid front axle, the very heart of its ruggedness, was traded for a sophisticated independent front suspension. It was a deal made with the modern world, giving up a little of the old magic on the rocks for a new kind of magic on the road. Suddenly, long highway miles melted away with ease. Potholed city streets felt smoother, quieter. This was the moment the flagship learned to not just conquer the road, but to glide over it. And then came the king, the 200 series, a vehicle that wore two crowns with equal grace, a true master of two different worlds. On the city streets, its advanced technology made it a rolling fortress of quiet luxury, a silent sanctuary from the chaos outside. But far from civilization, that same technology allowed it to become something else entirely, a dominant, unstoppable force, truly at home, in the heart of the endless desert. But a king's reign is never guaranteed. In a world demanding more efficiency, more intelligence, to stay on the throne, you can never stand still. The next evolution for the flagship would be its most controversial of all. Toyota made the difficult decision to replace a legend. For decades, the heart of the flagship was the soulful thunder of a V8 engine. It was a sound beloved by millions. That heart was traded for the potent, intelligent whisper of a twin-turbo V6. To many, it was an unthinkable gamble. But it was a calculated move away from brute force, towards smarter strength. It was a complete redefinition of what power would mean for the future of the Land Cruiser. The result is a Land Cruiser that now leads with sheer intelligence, a machine that is lighter, faster, and more capable, not through brute force, but through smarter engineering. It is the modern titan, a true velvet glove wrapped around a fist of iron. Its interior was engineered to be a sanctuary of calm and control, a first-class lounge that completely isolates you from the chaos of the city, or the harshest corners of the world just beyond the glass. But while one branch was learning to whisper, the other never forgot how to shout. Down the other path, time itself seemed to stand still. The modern 70 series is a paradox forged in steel and glass, a brand new vehicle with a 40-year-old soul. Its interior is a time capsule, a beautiful, defiant stand against a world obsessed with touchscreens and disposable technology. It is a machine built to be understood, to be trusted, and to last a lifetime. In a world that is obsessed with constant change, with endlessly chasing the promise of new, the 70 series offers a different path. It offers something far more rare and infinitely more valuable: permanence. This is a design that doesn't follow fleeting trends, because it serves a purpose that is, and always has been, completely timeless. While the rest of the automotive world moved on, the Land Cruiser stubbornly kept the legend alive, the powerful torque-wee V8 diesel engine. It's a defiant roar of analog power in a silent, digital age. This is why it remains the undisputed king of the world's toughest workplaces. For the miners, the farmers, the aid workers, its profound simplicity isn't a flaw. It is the ultimate feature. It is the guarantee that when everything else fails, the Land Cruiser will not. And then, there was the third path, the branch that took the spirit of its most iconic ancestors and gave it a modern heartbeat, the new LC250. It is a stunning return to its roots, a modern machine wrapped in the soul of its most beloved ancestors. It even offers a choice, a face that is classic and round, or one that is tough and rectangular. A clear reminder that this is a Land Cruiser built for the individual. Inside, the philosophy is the same, a perfect blend of timeless, functional design and the intelligent, intuitive technology of today. It is a cabin built for real-world adventure, not just for show. This is the ultimate proof that a true legend never really dies. It doesn't fade away. It is simply passed down, finding a new way to be born again for the next generation to discover. It is the versatile explorer, remade and reimagined for a new generation that craves authentic experiences. It is the original promise of the landcruiser name, delivered once more to the entire world. A promise of freedom to explore, a promise of a safe return, a promise that the greatest adventures are still out there, waiting to be found, ready for any road, any journey, anywhere on Earth. In 2006, a powerful echo from the past rolled onto modern streets. It was a brand new vehicle that dared to wear the face of a timeless legend. Its name, the FJ Cruiser. It perfectly captured the adventurous spirit of the legendary J40, and the world fell in love with it all over again. But this revival was a clever illusion, because underneath that wildly retro skin, the engineering was pure, modern Prado. The chassis, the suspension, the entire foundation, was shared with its more civilized sibling. It was a brilliant evolution, a different flower on an already strong branch. But it was not a new tree. But now, years later, the rumors are swirling again. A whisper that started in design studios and engineering bays is now echoing across the globe. But this isn't another echo of the past. This is a rumor about something new, something fundamentally different. Because today, the Land Cruiser's soul is built on three distinct foundations, each representing a different promise. First, the classic, the heavy-duty platform, an unbroken line of pure, mechanical toughness. Then, the complex, the advanced TNGAF, a masterpiece of modern engineering, built for ultimate capability and comfort. And finally, the compact, the simple, brilliant IMV0, a return to the original idea of accessibility for all, classic, complex, and compact. So, with a different platform and a philosophy that returns to the very beginning, one final question emerges. Are we witnessing the dawn of a new, third branch, a true third divide?